Hi, my name's Dan Toon. I'm the Manager for Commercial Services at Livingstone Shire Council. We look after provision of the services associated with water supply, sewerage and waste management for the whole of the Shire. Everyone's aware that water sustains life and that our lifestyles place great demands on water and all natural resources. Fortunately, community expectations and attitudes towards water use have changed to one of using land and water in ways that provide for sustainable long-term use without adverse impacts upon land or natural ecosystems. With the need to conserve water clearly identified, Livingstone Shire Council, along with other state and local water authorities, are engaged in public education campaigns with the long-term objective of reducing urban water consumption. Our goals are to utilise existing resources more effectively, promote water conserving practices, minimise impacts on the environment and reduce capital expenditure for new resources. We know water is a multi-purpose resource upon which we all depend on for recreation, sewage disposal, industrial use and irrigation, to name a few. However, Australians in general know very little about what happens before the tap, after the toilet is flushed or after the plug is released. By producing this presentation, our aim is to take you on a personalised tour of the Capricorn Coast water resources and management reticulation systems. We hope to not only inform you, the community, of the ecological and economic benefits of reducing your water consumption, but to also give you the opportunity to meet face to face the people responsible for your potable water supply. So please just sit back and enjoy the tour.
Hello, Phil McCone is my name. I'm the Strategic Assets and Compliance Engineer with Livingstone Shire Council. I'm responsible for the forward planning of water supply and sewerage assets. The Capricorn Coast water supply originates here at Waterpark Creek in Byfield. Rain falls on the catchment up in the Shoalwater Bay sand dune area. Then it gradually seeps out of the sand dunes into kilometres of sandy creeks and flows down to here at Waterpark. The quantity and quality of water varies throughout the year depending on the amount of rainfall we receive and the activities that occur in the catchment area. To maintain a constant supply of water, a weir has been built to store some of the water and maintain a continuous flow downstream for the natural ecosystem to survive. As our rainfall is seasonal and erratic, Kelly's off-stream storage was constructed in 1999 to ensure a continuous supply of water to the Capricorn Coast. It took 8 months to complete at a cost of $4.8 million. At present, Kelly's off-stream storage has the capacity to hold 1,100 million litres of water, approximately 3 months' supply, or if you can visualise 1,100 Olympic swimming pools of water. When dams are built in natural catchment areas, natural forces like rain and sun create raw water with a variety of problems. Rainwater collects dust particles from atmospheric pollutants like bushfires, for example smoke ash. Also, as the surface runoff flows over the land, it collects decaying vegetation containing substances such as nitrates, phosphates and pathogenic organisms, dissolved organic material, algae, bacteria and viruses, vegetation, tree roots, branches and chemicals such as manganese and iron leach out from rocks and soil. Human activities such as land clearing and farming can also have a significant effect on the quality of water. The use of pesticides, herbicides and fertilisers, for example. These impurities need to be removed to prevent the spread of waterborne pathogens that cause diseases such as cholera, typhoid and gastroenteritis. Hence, the water from Kelly's off-stream storage is pumped to the Woodbury Water Treatment Plant for physical, chemical and microbiological treatment. This is where I'll leave you, in the good hands of Brian Stevens, our pump crew supervisor.
Thanks, Phil. And as Phil has just said, my job entails repair and maintenance of water and wastewater pumps in Livingstone Shire. These are the two low-lift pumps. They pump at 200 litres a second. They actually take the water from the creek down here into these two big pipes here and into the high-lift ballast tank. Here we are at the high-lift pump station. This is where the water comes to from the low-lift pump station that we've just been to. The water is transferred from there to the ballast tank, which is behind me. And here we are now inside the high-lift pump station. These are the two pumps that actually push the water from here to Kenley's Inlet. One pump operation will give you 165 litres a second. 2-pump operation will give you around 210 litres per second.
Welcome to the Woodbury Water Treatment Plant. My name is Sean Fallis and I am Livingstone Shire Council's Water Supply and Sewerage Operations Engineer. The Woodbury plant was built in 1987 and treats water supplied to the Capricorn Coast reticulation system, which extends from Yeppoon in the north to Keppel Sands in the south. In 2004, Council invested almost $3 million in a complete upgrade of the plant. This enables an increase in production to cater for the future growth of the region and also meets improved environmental and safety standards. I would now like to introduce you to Bill Van Wees, who is the supervisor for the water and wastewater treatment plants. Bill will take you on the next stage of the tour.
The raw water pump from Kelly's off-stream storage or Water Park Creek can look like this, a jar full of colour and dirt. Colour and turbidity are two of the features that have to be considered when treating water. Colour is caused by organic materials such as leaves and branches. Turbidity comes from clays, suspended solids, decaying organic materials, silt, sand, etc. To remove organic matter, colour and turbidity from the raw water, aluminium sulphate, hydrated lime and a polyelectrolyte are added. Aluminium sulphate is a coagulant chemical which attracts all the suspended material, sand, silt, organic material and colour together to form what we call a flock particle. Aluminium sulphate will only work properly within a set pH range. We use the hydrated lime to maintain that pH range. Polyelectrolyte is a special chemical which adds weight to the flock particle formed when the aluminium sulphate is injected into the water. These three chemicals are rapidly mixed with the raw water in the flash mix chamber so they can clump together and form small flocks. After this, the water flows to the flocculation bay section of the clarifier, which enables the slow stirring and mixing of the chemicals with the water to enable the coagulated particles to stick together and grow in size and form larger flocks. Immediately after the flocculation bays, the water flows to the settling section of the clarifier where the flock particles sink to the bottom. This settled material is known as sludge and is removed by scrapers which rotate around the bottom of the clarifier. The sludge is removed and pumped to the new sludge dewatering system. The sludge flows to the reclamation tank. From here it is pumped to the thickening tank where a polyelectrolyte is added to the sludge. This helps the sludge to thicken. From here it is pumped to the centrifuge where, through its high revolutions, separates the water from the sludge. The sludge cake is then conveyed to a skip for disposal at the landfill. The clear water from this process is reprocessed through the treatment plant for drinking supply. Now back at the clarifier. The clear water that flows to the surface runs down a channel into a distribution box, which is then distributed amongst 6 filters. Here any particles of flock left in the water are removed. After the filtration process, dense soda ash is injected into the water to correct the pH level to a desirable 7 to 7.4. This ensures our water is soft and palatable. It is then stored in the clear well tank where chlorine is added to kill any harmful bacteria remaining in the system before the water is delivered to reservoirs and to the home. These pumps here pump the final treated water from the clear well tanks to the reservoirs. To ensure the treatment process is working correctly, the treatment plant operators carry out a variety of tests in the laboratory on a daily basis. These tests include raw water colour, water from Water Park Creek or Kelly's Dam, raw water turbidity, suspended material in the water, raw water pH, raw water alkalinity, raw water temperature, dose water pH immediately after the chemicals are injected, final water colour, final water pH, final water turbidity, final water alkalinity, final water temperature and final water taste and odour. These procedures guarantee you have aesthetically clean water like this at the turn of a tap. The results of the most major test, the jar test that the operators do, are applied to the SciTech computer program, which is a fully automatic computer system to optimise the water treatment process. With certain field instrumentation, the SciTech program can actually slow down or speed up pumps to meet the parameters that the operators have applied. In the event that the SciTech program failed, there is a complete manual backup system in place.
Treated water is conveyed by gravity or pumped to large concrete storage tanks at various high points around town. These are commonly known as the reservoirs in the reticulation system. Reservoirs are generally reinforced concrete tanks constructed at high points to meet the daily peak demand fluctuations and provide security of supply during breakdown or electricity failure. Reservoir sizes are determined by well-tested formula, which achieves a low risk of supply failure without unnecessarily high cost. The Capricorn Coast scheme currently has 8 reservoirs with a combined capacity of approximately 40 megalitres. Construction of more reservoirs are planned to meet the demands of growth. The water reticulation is a system of pipes, pumps, valves and hydrants which convey water from reservoirs to, ultimately, each household within the supply scheme. The pipe sizes are generally largest close to the reservoirs, with the size reducing at the scheme limits. The size of pipes is usually determined not by usage demand, but by the requirement to provide adequate flow and pressure for firefighting purposes. Included with this are the large trunk mains which convey water to reservoirs or between areas of development. For example, there's a trunk main from Yeppoon to Emu Park and then another from Emu Park across to Keppel Sands. Reticulation pipes called water mains carry this water under streets and footpaths. Water is then distributed to each household by tapping into the water main. A water meter measures the volume of water entering each house and is ultimately used to determine the billing for each household. There are generally 2 separate pipe systems throughout your house, one for cold water and one for hot water, which is connected up to your hot water service. These water pipes are constructed into the dwelling, in the wall or under the ground or in the ceiling space when the house is built to distribute water to your showers, baths, sinks, laundry, toilets, dishwashers and the many other appliances which have become the norm in modern urban life. And of course, there are also the taps which distribute water to the garden.
The Capricorn Coast water supply is now supplemented by a supply from Rockhampton via the Rockhampton to Yeppoon pipeline. This secures a reliable water supply for the future growth of the Capricorn Coast. The pipeline was completed in 2009 at a cost of $50 million and transfers treated water from the Rockhampton reticulation system to the Capricorn Coast. The Rockhampton water comes from the Fitzroy River and is treated at the Glenmore Water Treatment Plant.
The pipeline project included 40 kilometres of 600mm diameter ductile iron pipe, a pump station at Ibis Avenue in North Rockhampton, and a 11 megalitre concrete reservoir halfway between Rockhampton and Yeppoon, known as the Boundary Reservoir. The water is pumped from the Ibis Avenue pump station to the Boundary Reservoir, then gravity fed to the Yeppoon West valve facility. The valve facility allows water to be directed to St Face Reservoir to the north of Yeppoon and or Tarangabar Reservoir to the south. Water is supplied from Rockhampton under a bulk water supply agreement with Rockhampton Regional Council.
We hope you've enjoyed your tour of the water supply system from the creek to the tap and now have a greater understanding and appreciation of everything that's involved in delivering this precious resource to your doorstep. It's worthwhile considering that of the water we deliver, less than 1% is actually used for drinking to sustain life. So any contribution you can make towards reducing consumption and demand on our resources is greatly appreciated.